Okay guys, so new video, completely separate to the other video today. This is a keyway chain and sprocket change. This chain we tightened a couple of weeks back and something weren't right, and I'm going to show you what I mean. I said to Gary at the time, see how it sits. So this chain is not for this sprocket. Yeah, because it doesn't sit properly all the way around, so it's always been risky. And we planned to put the new chain on, but until it got this bad, we kind of left it alone. It's not a huge issue here, guys. The front sprocket is easy enough, I believe. The chain is easy enough. It's a split link chain. That's what this is here. You break that split link off, you pull the thing out, and you break the chain. These teeth are shocking. I don't know how they got that bad. I don't know how they got that low, but the chain has to sit on the sprocket properly the whole way round, otherwise it's so dangerous. And what's been happening here is where it's doing this, it's been slicing away at it, and you can see the dirt washed off there where it's doing that. Now if a chain comes off at speed, it's a chain saw, yes, so if it snaps or comes off at speed, it cuts your leg normally, or it can cut through your leg, so you've got to be very careful with chains. The hardest part of this process, so we have to take the back wheel off completely. It's not a huge issue. Sometimes the front sprocket's very crudded and a bit jammed. It shouldn't be a huge issue. So I suggest you pop these are pop rivet chains, so I suggest you pop them off first, take the chain off. Then I suggest we go to the front sprocket, and then I suggest we look at the rear sprocket. Assuming that all these nuts and bolts are releasable, which they will be, we'll look at that. We're also going to look at the cush drives, which Gary doesn't really understand. I think you don't really understand the cush drives. I'm going to show him what the cush drives are. We think these ones are, well, you can see they're loose. Now ideally we'd have new ones, but I'm going to look in there and see what's going on. You do change cush drives, but it's not that regular. So all I'm going to do is pop this rivet off here, pop that out, and we're going to slip this chain out. That's the first part. I'll be back in a minute. So there you go, guys, that's the easy part done. Getting the chain off to that point is the easy part. I'm shocked at that sprocket, at how bad it is. The teeth look, I'm absolutely shocked. Front sprocket looks fine. The teeth are massive, you see that? That's how it should be. So let's pop that off anyway. They have these safety clips here. You see that? It's normally just bent over. You normally just put a little screwdriver in and just knock that up. It's a very simple, basic mechanism for stopping this turn. It doesn't do that much. It's not that strong. Check on your bike. Make sure there's not another curve on the bottom. On this one, there's only one at the top at the moment. So you get a thin flat head, and you basically just pound it back up before you take that off. Keep it in gear, that will help you. This is in gear, I believe. That will put the pressure on. In fact, I just put it into, yeah, so there you go. And then you should be good to just crank it off. Back wheel, normally these bolts can be a little bit more of a problem, but I think we'll be fine. Wheel off, on the floor, take it off. So let's get this front sprocket changed. Alright guys, bolt came off really easy, too easy, it was only hand tight. Watch out for the, that's the safety washer, that's the bit you fold up to stop it rattling off. That's the actual teeth off there. Definitely some wear in there. I mean, it looks fine, but you can see how thin it's got on one side. Loads of wear in there. This is going to feel like a new bike with the new one on, actually. I'll grab the new one, I'll chuck it on, we'll get that all bolted up, and then from that kind of point of view, we're ready. We were speaking and we were saying that the new kit looks so much better than the old kit. It is, guys, because in this country, to have parts here, there's a minimum standard. So the Chinese ones that they put on, they're a very different standard. I'm going to show you. So that's the original, okay? Look how thin it is. And then that's the new one. Because, yeah, we have a minimum standard here. So any part you buy here on eBay or anywhere, it will be an upgraded part, even if it's come from China. Because it wouldn't get our approval. It wouldn't get this country's approval. So any Chinese-ish bike you get, remember this is a Benelli. It's kind of Chinese, but it's also not. But anyway, yeah, anything you upgrade is a good upgrade because they last much longer. That for me is they look similar. They look similar size on camera, but they're really not. This one's quite a bit thinner. Quite a bit thinner from dimension, but that is nice, thick and chunky. So it's a really good upgrade. That's a 13 tooth. This is a 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, this is a 12. 2, 4. Hang on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's a 13. They're both 13. So that goes on. There's no particular way of travel on this. I'll have the writing towards us. If it had the gap in it for the washer, then you'd obviously have to have that on the outside, but it doesn't. Make sure the washer still goes on to this, guys, even though it hasn't got the gap for it, because the washer's holding on the nut. Okay? Okay, guys, because this one doesn't have the seats for the retainer washer, there's no point putting it on. It's not going to do anything unless it's bitten on the teeth. Look, it spins. So this one is designed not to have it. For peace of mind, we're going to use some thread lock, obviously, on the thing, just for peace of mind. But if your sprocket doesn't come with the retaining nut or the gap for one, then you don't use it. It's as simple as that. Okay. Make sure you torque it up to spec. I don't know what the spec is on this, but we're using thread lock, and I'm going to torque it quite tight. So guys, front sprocket's on, Loctite, and torqued up. Torqued up to 38 roughly. Rear, I've taken the bolt off the rear wheel. Obviously now pop through the pivot and then drop the rear wheel. Lay it on that side, the other side, so that we can work on the sprocket. And then I'm going to show you the cush drives that we're going to have a look at, just out of curiosity. And then we'll bolt on that rear sprocket, chuck the chain on, and we're good to go. This was a nice quick fix so far, and this is going to feel like a new bike. Okay guys, so here is the new sprocket. Is so much better and thicker than the old sprocket. The teeth are so much larger. There's the difference there. I mean, God, look, let's line it up. So much more tooth. Now, let me show you what the cush drives are. Watch this. You get to your sprocket, ka-ching! There are your cush drives. These are what help you transfer your they help you transfer your power basically to your wheel without causing too much pressure on everything else. So these are rubber. The sprocket here, they slide in, and that's what causes that. However, they shouldn't sag that much. They should be tighter than that. So in reality here, new cush drives would have been really good for this. In reality, from another kind of stance though, it's not the end of the world, because it's not dangerous. It's just going to have that little bit of play that's annoying. If Garry finds it's something he wants to do, there may be a tenner on eBay, I think, and it takes us minutes to pop it all off. So worth doing, but at the moment it's more of an annoyance than a problem. You don't need to do anything in here, guys. Don't do anything. But if you are changing these, change them. That's as simple as that. Put your sprocket back in. Get your whatever size that is, 10, 11, 12. These also have, let me show you something because you might not see it, also has this retaining clip here. You have to do the same thing. You have to bend them back over using a hammer and a flathead like that before you can undo them. So you just hammer the piece of metal down and they'll come off, no problem. Keep them on the cush drive for stability. Sit on the wheel if you need to. Careful of the disc on the floor, it's fine at the moment. This will be off in 2 minutes. So guys, not loads of filming done because the camera got wet in the rain. But yeah, the rear went on great. We pushed up all the securing units, so that's good. What you need to do at this stage is get the chain like this, get the wheel kind of all like that, loose and ready. Get the chain kind of on and buttoned up, and then obviously you've got to pull the wheel back and secure it at an appropriate level. Loads of people will tell you different ways of measuring and adjusting. The notches on this bike, they're there. I can just about see them. There's 1 and 2 there, and there's 1 there. Just do the best you can, guys, at this stage. Front sprocket's on, chain's lovely, nice gold chain. Rear sprocket's on. Cush drive is a bit looser than we like, but not an issue, not a safety issue at all. So, all you do is you put the outside pin on, that just slides on. There shouldn't be much resistance there. In fact, look, there's, yeah, perfect. Now, the bit I'm unsure about is with the retaining clip, which is here somewhere. I did put it down. We will find it. Right, there is a direction for this. I think it's this way. So I think it's opposite the way it drives. So I think because we're on the bottom, it should face that way. But I'm going to Google that before, because I don't want any of you guys telling me off. So I'm going to Google that now. Honestly, do I think it makes much difference? No. But better safe than sorry. So I'm Googling that right now, and then I'm going to put that on. I think it's this way, but I am probably wrong. So it goes round backwards. Goes round backwards. That makes sense to me. Goes round backwards. No, it goes the other way. So it goes this way. So it goes round forward. I don't know, I'm going to Google it. Let's see. So guys, nice and taut, 1/2 inch. It should move 1/2 inch. Yeah, unload it, and then when you load it, it's a little bit tighter, but nothing major. Chains don't stretch. There's a myth that chains stretch. Chains do not stretch. The metal doesn't stretch, but they do need tightening after a couple of weeks. It's not actual chain stretch. It's normally sprocket and kind of metal wear and stuff. So that is such a good debate, guys. If you ever want to Google it or YouTube it, do chains stretch? No, they don't. Actually, what happens is you wear down the teeth on your sprockets, and then the chain appears to have got longer and larger, and it doesn't. The most wear you get is in the first couple of weeks. So a couple of weeks later, Garry comes down and will put some tension in it. But that is what chains are. That's what happens. You put, you kind of do them, you tighten them regularly. We're all good to go. We've got Loctite on that front sprocket. That's great and good to go. Rear sprocket's all done and good. And we're in gear, but we can see the wheels spinning lovely and freely. Rear brake is bolted on, but I need to just put some pressure on it, make sure it comes back. I think this will feel like a new bike. And that chain's much better. A couple of years use out of that. Look how the chain sits, guys. It sits in the teeth. The last chain did not fit the last sprocket. That chain was not designed for that sprocket. Someone bought a second-hand chain or a second-hand sprocket, and it did not work. This chain sits all the way round. There'll be no jumping, no skipping, no issues. Unless, of course, the chain wears quickly, which it won't. Front sprocket's great as well. We'll chuck the front cover back on. Gary's going to test it. It's going to feel beautiful. We're done and dusted and good to go. I'm going to pop down and see Nat a bit later, as long as the rain holds off. Yeah. I don't know about this, Garry. I kind of like it. Yeah. Like, every time I look at it, I forget it's behind me, and then I look at it and I go, hang on a minute. Without that weird, big, ugly front fairing on, it's quite a cool bike. Yeah. So, Gary's happy. I'm not sure how I'm going to do these videos today. I'm going to have to do 2. Gary's happy. He loved this. He took this out for a spin. I'm sending a care package to Nat now. Not sending, I'm bringing a care package to Nat. 2 120s, main jets, synchronizer, and some fuel line. Check. And actually, it would be nice to see his bikes in person. You just don't get it on the camera. You never will until you're sitting there, and then it kind of all makes sense. So I do like dropping in and seeing what people are working on. So we're good to go. Got a couple of nice videos today, I think. I'm at like 890 subs. I'm shocked, absolutely shocked. 1,000 was my was what I wanted to hit. I mean, listen, a year and a half ago I just wanted to hit 10. 1,000 was kind of my aim, although you then get other issues at 1,000, don't you? They start adding adverts and stuff, but that's not a huge issue. Let me know what you think about this bike. To an extent, I think Garry has claimed it, but I doubt it. Tomorrow I'm going to do some work on it. I'm going to drop that front panel and we'll see how it looks. It will look more beastly. I think it will look good. Let me know if you think I should try and put this through the ultra low emissions charge. Try and cheat it through by restricting the airflow, because that's what gets it through. More fuel, less air. Double the air filter, add some foam air filter, choke the bike, take it for its test. Let me know. That costs £170 though. Let me know if you think it should have a racing exhaust on it. 250 quid, I can get a Black Widow or something similar. Racing exhaust. They don't sound great, but they're quite cool. Or if you just think I should polish it up and move it on so that somebody has a lovely winter hack. For now, that's it for me today. I'll do a little bit tomorrow. Bob was back under the cover, poor bike, so that this one can go in at the back of the garage. Nice day so far, guys. Nice day.